Late Night Bears now continues. I am Harrison Graham as the Chicago Bears have signed a quarterback. It is P.J. Walker coming over from the Carolina Panthers to the Chicago Bears on a two-year deal worth up to $5 million. P.J. Walker, the newest member of the Chicago Bears, as he agrees to terms. Listen, I like the thought of getting a mobile quarterback behind Justin Fields on this QB depth chart, and I think P.J. Walker is an interesting name. He's not really a name we've talked about, as he's probably a lower level backup than some of the other ones available, but he's also a more cost-effective one. 2 years, up to $5 million, cap hit maybe a couple of mils. So certainly very interesting, and he has an interesting story as he was set to be the XFL MVP back in 2020 before the COVID shutdown. That put him on the NFL's radar, and he was able to squeeze 3 years out of the Carolina Panthers and has now kind of found himself in the NFL as a permanent NFL quarterback, which is a great story of perseverance for him. So P.J. Walker signing with the Chicago Bears on a 2-year, $5 million contract. Grade the signing by the Bears. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know down in the comment section below how you guys feel about P.J. Walker to Chicago. Now, you get P.J. Walker on board because, like I said, I think having a mobile quarterback in this offense behind Fields makes some sense. Now, what does that mean for Trevor Siemian? I'm not sure. Is Siemian expendable now? You can save, I think, about $1.5 million, $2 million if you cut him. Do you have him compete with P.J. Walker? Do you carry 3 quarterbacks? We'll have to wait and see. It certainly makes things interesting in the quarterback room. I would lean toward cutting Siemian and maybe drafting a quarterback on day 3. There's some names I've thrown out there in recent weeks, like Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who's got a strong arm and is mobile. You know, I don't think Stetson Bennett. I think he'll be gone a little bit earlier, but he's someone else that's out there. Max Duggan out of TCU, not a perfect product, but he's got some mobility and a strong arm. Jake Haener is an interesting player. Clayton Tune, Malik Cunningham. There's some day 3 quarterbacks I would have some interest in. So I definitely think Trevor Siemian could be getting released here with the P.J. Walker signing, but I don't necessarily think it's for sure. I think there will be a third quarterback come training camp, so whether that's still Siemian and P.J. Walker or someone in the draft, or maybe bringing back Nathan Peterman on a vet minimum deal, I certainly think there will be some options. Hit that subscribe button here on Chicago Bears Now, because when news drops, we're going to hit you guys with a video. What did I tell you a couple of hours ago? I said I'll probably have a video later because that's when the Bears sign people, late night Bears. So here we are back at home. Doesn't matter if we're at home or in the studio. When news drops, we hit you guys with a video, like when P.J. Walker signs to potentially be Justin Fields' backup quarterback. Now, we'll get back to Walker in a second, but as we're filming, news is dropping, huge news around the league. Orlando Brown is a Cincinnati Bengal. 4 years, $64 million. Only about 16 per year, and he gets a $31 million signing bonus, which I believe is the most ever for an offensive lineman. This tells me one thing is very clear. The Bears don't view him as a scheme fit, because $16 million per year is something I would have paid. They clearly don't feel like he fits their scheme, which, look, he's not super mobile. He's not super agile. Maybe they tried to get him to play right tackle. He didn't want to do that. So I certainly could see that. Mike Garafolo is reporting that this is a deal for Brown to play left tackle, and that he was adamant that he wanted to stay at that position. And apparently he wanted to be able to compete against the Chiefs. So there could be a little bit of a revenge factor going on here for Orlando Brown, as Cincinnati is certainly a title contender as well. So he's choosing to sign with the Bengals. He wanted to stay at left tackle. So that is what he's doing on that front. So very interesting. The Bears blog reported yesterday that the Bears view him as a right tackle, so maybe Ryan Poles reached out and said, hey, if you want to play right tackle, we'll pay you, and maybe Orlando Brown said no. So he gets a $64 million deal to sign with Cincinnati to play left tackle. Obviously, for the Bears, that pretty much takes the quote unquote premium offensive tackles off the market. So, there's names like Jermaine Illuminor, Isaiah Wynn out there, but it would certainly seem to me that offensive tackle in the draft for Chicago seems very likely. Paris Johnson Jr., Broderick Jones out of Georgia. They were at Georgia's pro day today. Jalen Carter had a disastrous day, but, do they like Broderick Jones? That could be an option. Also, Peter Skoronski, could they bring him on board? So they're going to have options, but, maybe the Bears didn't value this offensive line free agent class at tackle. Who knows? They were in on Mike McGlinchey, but since he signed with Denver, it seems like they've kind of bowed out on the offensive tackle class. So very interesting to see how this is played out for Chicago. Are you upset that the Bears did not sign any of the top tackles? Brown, McGlinchey, who am I forgetting? McGarry, or who's the fourth one? Brown, McGlinchey, McGarry, Jawan Taylor. Are you upset they didn't sign any of those four guys? Type Y for yes, type in for no. Let me know in the comments section below. I wouldn't say I'm upset, but I am surprised. I thought they would get one of these guys. I really did. And it sounds like they tried to get McGlinchey, but his price tag just went way up. I mean, he got more money than Orlando Brown, guys. I know McGlinchey's a better scheme fit, but Orlando Brown is a better player than Mike McGlinchey. That's just a fact. So it's kind of interesting how these things play out. I would have done the Caleb McGarry deal in a heartbeat. Curious to know why the Bears didn't. Maybe they've fallen in love with the draft prospect at tackle. It's very possible that has happened here. And listen, if that's the case, then we have to trust, the Bears' process on that. But, it puts them in a bit of a pickle. What if they get to the 9th pick and the guy they like isn't there? What do you do then? So, I could see them signing one of these less, Jermaine Illuminor types to have some security there. But it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I like Illuminor. I think he could be a starter. Now, is he like the splashy, guy who could be here for 5-10 years? I don't know if I view him like that, but he did play well for the Raiders last year. So no Orlando Brown. He's off the market, and things get interesting as the Bears still sit with a lot of cap space and haven't really made a splash since day one of free agency. We know Poles is going to be picky in free agency. He's been pretty clear on that, but they also do have money to spend. Okay, listen, busy day around the league again. We'll see what tomorrow brings. P.J. Walker, the newest member of the Bears. This is a team that wants to build through the draft, so don't panic. We got to trust that part of the process, but it's okay to question things too and to wonder, should they have done this? Should they have done that? Like I said it yesterday, I would have done the Caleb McGarry deal. I would have even paid a little bit extra to get him because it just gives me a little more security. But we'll see how this thing plays out. P.J. Walker, 2 years, $5 million with the Bears. Orlando Brown, 4 years, $64 million with the Bengals. That's where things sit right now. I'm Harrison Graham. Subscribe to the channel. You can follow me on social media at HGrahamNFL. We'll see you guys soon if more news drops.